Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, bringing you guys another Boruto Naruto Next Generations discussion. And today, I want to discuss with you guys something in regards to our favorite knuckleheaded Hokage, Naruto Uzumaki himself. By this point in the story in the Boruto era, we've seen Naruto start out Boruto as the strongest character in the series during the events of Naruto chapter 700, and then we saw signs that Naruto began descending down the ladder in power. Less than a year after Naruto ended, we got Naruto Gaiden, and we had Kurama getting onto Naruto for growing so rusty that he couldn't dodge Shin Uchiha's attacks, a sign that Naruto's battle senses had dulled in the years since he had become the Hokage. A year later, we got Boruto's manga, and over time it became obvious that even though the anime showed us that Naruto was back training, there was a power shift that was coming. Delta pushed to suppress Naruto to the point where he said himself he wasn't sure if fighting with killing intent would have been enough to change the difficulty of his win over Delta, but Jigen showed that there was a whole tier of power that Naruto didn't belong in. 3 hits later left Naruto near death. Ishiki toyed around with Naruto, and Naruto never landed a punch in the manga until he used baryon mode. Since then, Naruto has continued to slide down the rankings in power to a point where a solid argument can be made Naruto isn't even the top 5 in the series anymore. Damon, Ada, and Code each have raw power beyond Jigen. Kawaki is growing more used to using Ishiki's dojutsu and is confirmed to be stronger than Naruto. The 5th spot is a toss-up between Sasuke and Momoshiki when he's controlling Boruto's body, and Naruto himself. Fatigued EMS Sasuke fought Momoshiki to the point where he had to retreat, and just going by what we normally saw with EMS in regards to power, EMS Sasuke has usually been near KCM2 Naruto's power level at every stage of the way, and since Naruto no longer has the QB chakra, strong arguments can be made that he's below both Momoshiki controlling Boruto and Sasuke, even with Naruto's refined Sage mode, unless you think his body is able to draw on enough nature energy to reach the same power level that he would have had with KCM2. The title of Strongest Boy has slipped through his fingers, but what doesn't have to slip through his fingers is the chance to visit Established Titles, the sponsor of today's video. Established Titles is a fun and novel way to preserve the natural woodlands of Scotland while helping with global reforestation efforts. It's a project based in historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lairds or lords and ladies in English. With Established Titles, you get at least 1 square foot of dedicated land on a private estate in Edelston, Scotland, and an official certificate with the crest, which has a unique plot number to show you your land. Established Titles plants a tree with every order they receive and work with charities like One Tree Planet and Trees for the Future to support global reforestation efforts. Just as Naruto gets to call himself Lord Hokage, you can officially call yourself Lord or Lady, which now that I have this certificate calling me a Lord, it's going to be on my desk, and everybody who comes to my office has to call me the Lord. And you can get it on your credit card or your plane tickets, or you sussy bakas can even use it on your dating profiles. If you go for the romantic route, you can also purchase the couples pack, which comes with adjoining plots of land. The first 200 people purchasing the title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot within a few minutes of walking distance from it. Depending on how many of you guys want to become a lord or a lady, we can build our own little Naruto Explained kingdom. My late grandmother, who just passed away, not only loved flowers but also trees as well, so I'm gonna purchase one to honor my late grandmother. It makes an amazing last minute gift. Established Titles is actually running an early Black Friday sale, plus if you use the promo code EXPLAIN, you get an additional 10% off. Go to establishedtitles.com/explain to get your gift and help support the channel. Thank you again to Established Titles for sponsoring today's video. So what exactly can Naruto do in order to make himself relevant again in terms of power so he can actually protect the village as Hokage? He at least needs to be strong enough to put up a fight against potential threats in a meaningful way, similar to how Tsunade, when the time came, she was able to protect thousands of people when pain blew up the village, and she was able to step up again to fight against Edo Tensei Madara. So what exactly can Naruto do? What I've done is I've taken the 5 things that you guys have suggested that Naruto can do to take that next step to re-enter the top 5 in terms of the power scaling and at least give his village a fighting chance against these Otsutsuki level threats that we have in Boruto right now. So starting with number 1, we're going to go with the major elephant in the room, which is Naruto already has a Hashirama cell arm made out of enhanced Hashirama cells. It's time for Naruto to pull a Danzo and start training to fully maximize that arm, because wood release being wielded by someone who is actually strong, at least by Boruto standards, which means no bootleg Hashiramas like Yamato need to apply. It's time for Naruto to take advantage of what wood release can actually do. It gives a perfect opportunity to go to Yamato to learn how to wield this power, and even into the Hokage library to read whatever scrolls Hashirama has to see if there's any information left behind by Hashirama in regards to his power. This means Naruto can take advantage of wood release being able to suppress and absorb chakra, and even making use out of the jutsu that have enough power to eat away at the defenses of a perfect Susanoo like it's nothing. While Naruto isn't as strong as some of his enemies, this would be a continuation of what we've always seen in the Naruto franchise, where the strongest doesn't necessarily always win if there's a big enough hacks that's involved to negate things, or if a person is already stronger than their enemy, the hacks jutsu just makes them an even bigger nightmare to deal with. Case in point, how Jigen just dog-walked Naruto and Sasuke. At number 2, we're going to continue with the whole theme of arms. We have the ninja tech arm that Katasuke made for Naruto. Many fans say that Naruto's ninja tech arm, it wasn't introduced by mistake, and it was instead planting seeds for a future development later on, which isn't a crazy idea. The idea of humans being enhanced by science is not anything new to this franchise. Amato already turned normal humans like Kawaki, Damon, Ada, Code into absolute monsters using this technology that Katasuke pioneered. Only Amato's tech used ninja tech on top of the Hashirama cells that Katasuke's original tech used. Katasuke said that Naruto's arm was merely a prototype, but now that we've reached a point where Katasuke now has access to all of Amato's research and data, to a point where the arm, it should be able to be upgraded and moved out the prototype phase and given to Naruto. By Naruto's own words, they made the arm right after the Momoshiki fight, which shows that Naruto noticed how pesky Momoshiki's powers can be, absorbing all ninjutsu attacks and firing them back multiple times stronger, and even combining jutsu absorb for even bigger attacks. Naruto's right arm right now can't currently fire back any jutsu, but if Amato's research that he handed over is used, we know for a fact Naruto's arm can be upgraded to at least the level of Delta's technology, because Delta was able to absorb jutsu and shoot it back. And Delta was able to absorb enough of Naruto's chakra when he was using that giant Rasengan that even Naruto fell over from exhaustion after the fact. So this has potential to be an absolute monster in terms of what this arm could do. This gives Naruto a boost, but the only problem is that Code doesn't use any chakra based attacks, and neither do, as of right now, Ada or Damon. The only person who uses chakra based attacks is Kawaki, and if you want to throw Momoshiki in there, saying Momoshiki takes over Boruto's body again, which looks likely, you have Momoshiki as well. However, it's still something worth exploring, especially later on, if this ends up being a huge payoff later on down the line, which I think might be the case, because again, we waited 6 years to get the payoff for the death flags that said that Jiraiya was going to die. So I don't think that this is crazy. At number 3, we have the Wisdom of Age Sage Mode, which in of itself is very interesting. It's probably the second most interesting thing on this list, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. So if you let Naruto tell it, his Sage Mode right now is stronger, and he's able to sustain it a lot longer now, which is great, but Naruto's coming off a huge loss in power with the QB chakra, which he oftentimes stacked on top of his 6-pass Sage Mode, which 6-pass Sage Mode just allowed the user to bypass the limitations of normal Sage Mode and draw in an insanely large amount of nature energy, which can then be used to amp up the stats to absurdly busted levels that we've seen Naruto use. However, with just Sage Mode, Naruto runs into a problem here. So Sage Mode blends nature energy with his own chakra, and his body has to be strong enough to wield that chakra. We all know that's something Naruto can do. However, the issue here is you have to balance out the amount of nature energy that you're drawing in with your own chakra, and without 6-pass Sage Mode, Naruto can't draw in more nature energy than his own chakra levels can balance out, because if he does, he's going to turn into stone. Now, whether or not you want to say that there's some type of muscle memory involved here, that's up to you, but just given how Sage Mode works, even if there's muscle memory involved, Naruto still needs the chakra levels to be able to draw in and balance out that much nature energy. As I've discussed in my How Strong is Naruto Without Kurama video, Naruto, even without Kurama, is still an absolute monster. His chakra levels have only grown since that statement way back in the Akatsuki suppression arc that his chakra levels were 4 times that of an elite Jonin like Kakashi. Naruto's chakra levels have gone up much higher, but in order to even begin reaching the heights of the amount of nature energy that he was able to draw with 6-pass Sage Mode, he's going to need to raise his chakra levels even higher, which can only be done through intense physical training to raise the yang portion of one's chakra and intense meditation to raise the yin skin portion of one's chakra. It's not impossible. We've seen huge leaps in chakra levels by people before, like Might Guy over the course of part 2 of Naruto, going by the manga version, not the anime version for what I'm about to reference. But in the manga, after Neji rescued Team Guy from Kisame's water prison jutsu, Guy was able to use the 6th gate to defeat a Kisame clone that had 30% of Kisame's chakra. In the manga, there was no desperate rush to save his team because Neji showed his competency as a Jonin by freeing the team so Guy could fight at full power without having to worry about Team Guy drowning. Guy trains every single day, and over the course of that time, he trained up to a point where he could destroy Kisame in the rematch with the 7th gate, and he was easily stalemating him using the 6th gate, which is a sign that he's grown stronger because the previous time he used the 6th gate, he needed that on 30% clone. Now you got it where he's stalemating him. However, the same is true with Kakashi's chakra levels, growing between part 1 where he can only perform the Raikiri a set number of times, and in part 2 where he could only use the Sharingan for a certain period of time, to what we had with War Art Kakashi, which is basically his own different character where he's spamming Raikiri in different variations and he's using the Sharingan in constant battles before you even got Naruto's chakra to replenish him. Naruto would have to see a chakra level increase of that magnitude to even begin drawing in anywhere close to the amount of nature energy that he did before with 6-pass Sage mode, and even have enough of his own chakra to balance it out without turning into stone. It's not impossible, but it'd be irresponsible for me to say it's not a tall task. Coming in at number 4, we have another popular fan theory, which is that Naruto should just grab Manpa Toad if they haven't already been turned into frog legs somewhere on Mount Miyaboku and use them to constantly gather nature energy form to utilize in battle, which frees up Naruto to focus solely on fighting like how Jiraiya did when he used them as a last resort. This means gaining access to their frog song genjutsu and their senjutsu based sensory jutsu that can find people who are invisible or hiding behind a barrier. The toads can even combine other elements like wind and fire release and toad oil to Naruto's attacks to make some really interesting combos, since Naruto has mastery of all 5 changes in chakra nature. So in theory, these combinations could be absolutely lethal. Finally, at number 5, we have what I think is the most interesting, which is the suggestion that Naruto goes to look for the Uzumaki sealing scrolls scattered throughout the land of fire, potentially in the land of whirlpools, and look through whatever leftovers of Minato and Kushina's items, which are likely stored at the Hokage library, to start learning some of the sealing jutsu of his Uzumaki lineage. The Uzumaki were feared for their sealing jutsu to the point where entire nations had to band together to destroy them before Konoha could come to their aid. So it's only right Naruto learns some of the sealing jutsu and potentially start using the Uzumaki clan's sealing chains, which can only be used by those Uzumaki with the special chakra inside the clan. People like Kushina and Hinoka and Karin Uzumaki, these chains, on top of being durable enough to hold down the Biju, they also can nullify the chakra of their target, and they can even make barriers, as shown with Kushina, that cannot be broken through, even by someone as strong as the Nine Tails. And when Kushina did this, this was Kushina already on her deathbed, holding down the entire Nine Tails. Being able to fully nullify the chakra of an enemy with those chains could come in handy, especially if Naruto himself is able to start using Uzumaki sealing jutsu on top of that. However, which of these do you think would be the best route for Naruto to go, or is there something else you would suggest that I did not discuss here? While you think that over, click here to watch these other videos you see on the screen right now.